warm welcome to South Asia Today, where we bring you in-depth insights into the key events shaping South Asia. I am Pratiksha Mishra, and here are today's top stories. Nepal votes in historic election after months of turmoil. Rajouri's Kalakote witnesses women empowerment through Ummeed initiative. And Kyoto hosts cooking tests to certify foreign Japanese cuisine chefs. Let's begin the show. Nearly 6 months after unprecedented youth-led protests shook Nepal and forced the resignation of former Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, the Himalayan nation has voted in a historic general election on March 5th. The September demonstrations triggered by a social media ban but fueled by deeper frustrations over corruption and unemployment and altered the political course of the country. Now, as ballots are cast and counted, millions of Nepalis, especially the youth, are hoping for a government that delivers stability, jobs, and clean politics. Voters turned out in large numbers across Nepal as polling concluded in what many are calling a decisive moment for the nation. Long queues were seen outside polling stations, reflecting high public engagement in the first national vote since the deadly September protest that forced Oli's resignation. With a surge in first-time young voters and heightened public expectations, attention now shifts to the counting process and to whether this election can truly deliver the change demanded on the streets. Voting began at 7 a.m. local time and ended at 5 p.m. with counting scheduled soon after. Interim Prime Minister Sushila Karki and Prime Ministerial candidate Balendra Shah were among those who cast their ballots early in the day.
We just expect that good candidate must be win, and we support our young generation.
I really hope that whoever wins, they plays a significant role in development of Nepal, enhancing the life situations of every citizen, along with those who are marginalized, vulnerable, and who have been victim of various ill practices.
A key factor in this election is the addition of nearly 1 million new voters, most of them young registered after the September unrest. Their participation has strengthened calls for generational change and greater political accountability. At the center of this momentum is the 3-year-old Rashtriya Swatantra Party, which has fielded 35-year-old rapper turned politician Balendra Shah as its prime ministerial candidate. A former mayor of Kathmandu and a prominent face during the September protest, Shah represents a departure from Nepal's traditional political establishment. For many young voters, this election carries deep personal significance. They believe the sacrifices made during the protest must translate into tangible reforms.
अब विकास नभएको ठाउँमा अब रोजगारहरू लाउनु पर्यो हैन अब जनताहरू अब खाडी मुलुक गइराछ त्यसलाई सबैले रोजगार खुलाएर त नेपालमै बसेर केही गरौँ भन्ने अवस्थामा
ये भोट से चाहिँ नयाँ सरकार बनेगा नयाँ सरकार से चाहिँ देश को विकास लगायत नीति निर्माण ऐन कानून बनाएगा देश और जनता के पक्ष में इसलिए वोट डाला.
The election comes nearly 6 months after violent clashes erupted during youth-led protests over corruption and restrictions on freedoms unrest that ultimately led to the resignation of then Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli. Now with voting complete, Nepal stands at a turning point. While this election is expected to reshape the political landscape, the large question remains: will a new mandate bring lasting reforms in governance, transparency, and job creation? As counting begins, the nation waits for the young people who marched in the streets, for the families who lost loved ones, and for workers struggling to make ends meet, this election is more than a political event. It is about the future of Nepal. Whether the next government delivers genuine transformation or falls into familiar patterns remains to be seen. But after months of protest, pain and sacrifice, one message is clear. The people of Nepal are united in hope, seeking stable, accountable leadership that can turn promises of change into lasting progress. In a remarkable stride towards women empowerment in Jammu and Kashmir, a big revolution is unfolding in Rajouri's Kalakote village. Under the centrally sponsored National Rural Livelihoods Mission Ummeed scheme, poor women are crafting handicrafts from chir pine needles, transforming forest waste into sustainable livelihoods opportunities and ushering in eco-friendly, inclusive rural development across the hilly region. Take a look.
Bringing hope and sustainability together, a green revolution is unfolding in the hilly terrains of Kalakot in Rajouri district of Jammu and Kashmir. What was once a forest fire hazard fallen cheat pine needles is now being transformed into beautiful marketable handicrafts. Through the Ummeed scheme under NRLM, women are shifting from daily struggles to becoming Lakpati Didis, earning significant incomes. This remarkable transition is reshaping livelihoods and redefining economic empowerment in remote rural communities.
मैं तो सब बहनों को ये अवेयरनेस देती हूँ कि सब काम करें। जैसे कि मैंने स्ट्रॉबेरी लगाई, मैंने पहली बार लगाई है। इधर कोई इस कालाकोट के एरिया में कोई नहीं लगाता था स्ट्रॉबेरी, मैंने पहली बार स्ट्रॉबेरी लगाई है। स्ट्रॉबेरी लगाई है, मशरूम लगाई है। और मैं सब बहनों को यही अवेयरनेस देती हूँ कि सब बहनें मिलके काम करें, अपने अपने घरों में ही करें। ये नहीं कि किसी कोई यूनिट बना के करें, नहीं, अपने अपने घरों में अपने अपने खेती में खुद काम करें, अपने फैमिली के ऊपर निर्भर ना रहें। और मैंने स्ट्रॉबेरी लगाई है, मशरूम लगाई है, बकरियां भी रखी हुई हैं, गाय रखी है और पोल्ट्री भी रखी है, देसी मुर्गे भी मैंने रखे हुए हैं। तो सर मैं ये सब बहनों को यही अवेयरनेस देती हूँ कि सब बहनें अपना अपना रोजगार खुद करें। आज हमारे साथ कम से कम भी 100-150 लेडीज़ है जो जुड़ के हमारे साथ काम कर रही है। और ये हमारा जैसे कि ये चीड़ पाइन का ये 2021 में हमने ट्रेनिंग ली थी। ये 2021 में 21-22 में ये हिमाचल से लेडीज़ आई थी, उन्होंने हमें ट्रेनिंग दी थी और राजौरी ITI में हमने ट्रेनिंग करी। उसके बाद हमने ये काम स्टार्ट करा। हमारे कम से कम भी 20 और 25 लेडीज़ ये काम कर रही हैं। ये हम जहाँ भी कोई मेला लगता है, जैसे हमारे पास कोई भी डिमांड आती है, हमें ये चीज़ चाहिए, तो हम हमारी लेडीज़ ये बना के देती हैं। मैं तो प्रधानमंत्री से यही निवेदन करती हूँ कि उन्होंने जो स्कीमें निकाली हैं बहुत अच्छा किया और इन स्कीमों के तहत हम आगे बढ़ पाएँ। एक टाइम था कि जैसे हम लेडीज़ घर से बाहर भी निकलने में कतराती थी कि बाहर जाके करेंगे क्या। आज हम वो लोग हैं कि बैंक तक अकेले जाते हैं, कोई भी काम है हम खुद अकेले करके आते हैं, क्योंकि हमें बहुत PM की स्कीमों के बाद हमें बहुत सारी अवेयरनेस मिली है।
A powerful wave of self-reliance is rising from the remote hills of Kalakot. Under National Rural Livelihoods Mission initiatives, women are transforming cheat pine needles, locally known as payal, into finely crafted baskets, mats, coasters, and jewelry, turning environmental waste into economic opportunity. They are also expanding into kitchen gardening, livestock rearing, and small-scale entrepreneurship through multi-business models. With skill training, easy credit access, and national platforms like Saras Melas, these women are overcoming isolation and emerging as confident, self-sustained entrepreneurs, truly embodying the spirit of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
आप यहाँ अभी देख रहे हो, हमने नाबार्ड से RECT के साथ मिलके एनिमल हस्बेंड्री डिपार्टमेंट, एग्रीकल्चर डिपार्टमेंट, हार्टिकल्चर डिपार्टमेंट, सबके साथ हमने कन्वर्जेंस करवाए हैं। इसके अलावा भी नॉन फॉर्म सेक्टर में भी बहुत सारा काम यहाँ हो रहा है। लोग बुटीक में अपने घरों में लोग 4-4, 5-5 लेडीज़ मिलके कटिंग टेलरिंग का काम कर रही हैं। यहाँ इतना दूर दराज एरिया है तो ब्यूटी पार्लर का भी काम बड़ा अच्छा हो रहा है, क्योंकि जब फंक्शंस वगैरह होते हैं तो मार्केट तक पहुँचना, बाज़ार तक पहुँचना लेडीज़ के लिए बहुत मुश्किल था। और इन लोगों ने जो RECT के साथ हमने इनको ट्रेनिंग करवाई है तो उसका काफ़ी अच्छा बेनिफिट लिया है। यहाँ पे जहाँ हम बैठे हैं, यहाँ हमने एक कन्वर्जेंस में हार्टिकल्चर डिपार्टमेंट के साथ एक मशरूम ये अपने मशरूम और साथ में स्ट्रॉबेरी के लिए एक यूनिट लिया था।
A silent transformation is reshaping the future of Kalakot's remote hills in Rajouri district. Backed by the National Rural Livelihoods Mission, women are stepping confidently towards financial independence through structured skill development and diversified livelihood ventures. From dairy units and mushroom cultivation to strawberry farming, new income streams are strengthening rural livelihoods. Through strong self-help groups, women are pooling resources, boosting productivity, and building financial security, turning Kalakot into a rising example of grassroots empowerment in Jammu and Kashmir.
कुछ लोगों की ज़िंदगियों में एक रोशनी बनकर ये स्कीम आई है और इसकी बड़ी अहमियत है इस फील्ड में। और कुछ ज़्यादातर हमारी माताएं बहनें हैं, पहले जो किसी ऑफिस में जाना या किसी बैंक में जाने से ही डरती थी, और आज अपने हक होने ने ट्रेनिंग यहाँ पर अवेयरनेस और मोबिलाइजेशन तो हमारी रहती है। यही कह के चलती है कि अब कोई भी अगर बंदा इंटरेस्टेड या कोई भी लेडीज़, उनमें ऑलरेडी स्किल तो लेडीज़ में रहती है। हम उनको बिल्कुल सही से गाइड करते हैं कि आप अगर ये काम करोगे और आपकी इनकम बढ़ेगी, और हम उनकी पूरी हेल्प भी करते हैं एज ए फील्ड, पैसा दिलवाने तक कैसा उसने अपना एज ए रिकॉर्ड करना है, इनकम कैसे बढ़ेगी, प्रोसेसिंग कैसे करनी है, सब पूरा प्रॉपर बताते हैं वैसा।
A remarkable wave of progress is sweeping through Rajouri district in Jammu and Kashmir, reflecting the administration's strong commitment to inclusive growth. Through effective implementation of NRLM initiatives, the J&K administration has successfully empowered women in Kalakot to become financially independent and self-reliant. With structured training, financial assistance, and continuous guidance, women are emerging as confident entrepreneurs and community leaders. This transformation highlights not just economic upliftment, but a broader movement of women-led development, strengthening families and driving sustainable prosperity across Jammu and Kashmir.
Now we take a look at some happenings in Asia in our segment called Asia Watch.
Afghan families displaced by Pakistani airstrikes in Nangarhar, near the border with Pakistan, were living in tents this week after their homes were destroyed in the cross-border conflict. Tensions have flared between Pakistan and Afghanistan amid Islamabad's airstrikes on major Afghan cities last week, intensifying years of strained relations. The Pakistani government claims the strikes, some of which have targeted Taliban-controlled areas, are aimed at dismantling militant groups launching attacks from Afghan soil. Kabul's Taliban administration denies providing shelter to these groups. This escalation adds to rising instability in the region, which is simultaneously grappling with heightened tensions following US and Israeli military actions against Iran. Iraq has cut oil production by nearly 1.5 million barrels a day, and those cuts could widen to more than 3 million barrels per day within days, as the country runs out of storage and cannot export crude due to the Iran crisis. The oil ministry said later in the day that the reduction in its crude oil production, owing to the halt in exports after the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, would not affect operations at its refineries. Iraq's refining capacity stands at around 1.1 million barrels per day, according to Iraqi energy officials and oil ministry data. The US-Israeli war with Iran has halted energy exports from the Middle East, with Tehran attacking ships and energy facilities, closing navigation in the Gulf, and forcing production stoppages from Qatar to Iraq. Large crowds took over the streets in India on March 4th to celebrate the Festival of Colors. Also known as Holi, revelers can be seen in a mix of colors from head to toe, dancing and singing to music playing in the background. Another attendee at the celebrations in Assam, a state in northeast India, said, "This is one of those festivals where everyone is equal. No one is rich or poor. People belonging to every community or group come together to enjoy the festival of colors called Holi." In recent years, community groups and temple authorities have encouraged their participation in festivals like Holi as part of broader efforts toward social inclusion and dignity. Holi, celebrated at the onset of spring, which falls on March 4th this year, symbolizes renewal and is associated with the eternal love of Hindu deities Krishna and Radha.
Kyoto hosted a cooking skills test to certify foreign chefs in authentic Japanese cuisine. Organized by the Japanese Cuisine and Dietary Culture Development Committee, the exam saw 12 chefs compete for gold and silver qualifications. Participants prepared traditional dishes, highlighting technique and authenticity, aiming to bring genuine Japanese culinary excellence to their home countries.
Cooking test to certify real qualification for foreign Japanese cuisine chefs was held in Kyoto. Under global trend of Japanese Cuisine and Dietary Cultural Development Committee organized cooking skill test to certify real Japanese cuisine qualification for foreign chefs. 12 foreign chefs applied to it, aiming gold or silver qualification. Some of chefs got training in Japanese traditional restaurant. Others got a win in the Japanese Cuisine Championship event held by Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fisheries. 10 chefs applied to silver qualification test, cooking 1 soup and 5 plates.
Silver certification, the 6 months were really much of a very big experience for me. So I think it will play a very important role in the next few years and the career ahead for me.
Le digo, es algo importante por mi carrera. Años llevo trabajando en la gastronomía japonesa. Para mí es un orgullo estar aquí y ser partícipe para la medalla de plata.
ゴールドメダル取ったら日本国産の食材シンガポールまでやり方の方法がもっとできますだと思う。新しいずっとハイブリッドの食材どんどん出る日本でこれがすごくいいし、この食材が自分の店使うなればやっぱりゴール取ったでアンバサダーになったら取りやすい。
First time cooking so many dishes together. We use katsuobushi, kombu, then we have salmon, kampachi, hamachi. We get then miso, sake, mirin, basic seasoning, soy and all.
2 chefs applied to gold qualification test, cooking Shokado bento box.
京都のお料理とか勉強もなるし、京都のシェフとかもの評価からもいただけるので、それは勉強になるかなと思います。今神楽坂のところで勉強してベトナムで持ち帰ってお店に広げようかなと思っています。
Those disciples keep in the mind mentor's message. Each country has each taste defined by temperature and air pressure. Please adapt to them to complete most taste Japanese cuisine for your country.
Maler Kotla feels like poetry in real life. In this historic city of Punjab, the azan, shabad, kirtan and temple bells rise together, not in competition but in harmony. Here festivals are shared, grief is collective and faith builds bridges instead of barriers. Even during the partition of India in 1947, Maler Kotla chose peace. That spirit continues to define the city today, a powerful reminder that unity is not outdated, it's timeless.
Tucked into Punjab's fertile plains, Maler Kotla stands as a rare living symbol of communal harmony. For centuries, this historic town has woven faiths and traditions into a shared way of life where peace is not preached, it's practiced. At its spiritual heart is the 600-year-old Baba Haider Sheikh Dargah, dedicated to Hazrat Sheikh Sadruddin Sadr-e-Jahan. Every Thursday, Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs and Christians gather here not as separate communities but as one, united in prayer and devotion.
जो ये दरगाह है इनका बाबा जी का नाम है शेख सदरुद्दीन सदर-ए-जहां। वैसे इनको बोला जाता है बाबा हैदर शेख के नाम से और ये 600 साल पुरानी दरगाह है और बाबा जी अफ़गानिस्तान से आए थे। वीरवार को यहाँ बहुत ज़्यादा भीड़ होती है। हाँ जी, हर वीरवार को बहुत ज़्यादा यहाँ भीड़ होती है और यहाँ पे हिंदू, मुस्लिम और सिख सभी धर्मों के लोग यहाँ पे आते हैं इनके और सबकी ये सुनते हैं।
Just a short walk away stands the serene Hada Nara Gurudwara, a sacred space woven into Maler Kotla's soul. It honors the Nawab's courageous stand against injustice during the Mughal era, a moment that attached the city into Sikh history with deep respect. Today, the Gurudwara remains open to all, welcoming every visitor regardless of faith with the same spirit of dignity and grace.
ਇੱਥੇ ਮਲੇਰਕੋਟਲਾ ਦੇ ਰਿਆਸਤ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਿੱਖ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਮੁਸਲਿਮ ਸਾਰੇ ਭਾਈਚਾਰਾ ਸਾਰੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਵਿਆਹ ਸ਼ਾਦੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਇੱਕ ਦੂਏ ਦੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਗੁਰੂ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਮੰਦਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਸਮਾਗਮ ਹੁੰਦਾ।
Adding to Malerkotla's spiritual mosaic is the vibrant Kali Mata temple, where devotees, especially on Saturdays, offer nariyal, chunni and prasad to the goddess. What makes it special is not just the ritual, but the people. Visitors from every community come here in the quiet devotion. In Malerkotla, different faiths standing side by side is not extraordinary, it's simply everyday life.
सारे लोग के, सारे समाज के जो श्रद्धालु आते हैं, जिसमें कि अपने हिंदू, सिख, ईसाई, मुसलमान सारे लोग ही यहाँ पर 20% मुसलमान भी श्रद्धालु यहाँ पर आते हैं और जाट भाई, सिख, बानिए सारे ही यहाँ पर बड़ी श्रद्धा लेकर के काली माता को मान करके बड़ी श्रद्धा से शनिवार को तो बहुत रश के साथ में यहाँ पर आते हैं और बहुत सारा सामान नारियल, चुन्नी, प्रसाद जो भी यहाँ चढ़ाया जाता है बड़ी श्रद्धा से चढ़ाया जाता है।
As India celebrates its diversity, this small Punjabi city offers a quiet but powerful reminder. Unity works best when it's lived daily, not just spoken about. Malerkotla is more than a dot on the map. It's a living story of peace, shared faith, and the lasting strength of coexistence.
As we wrap up today's episode of South Asia Today, we thank you for joining us. We'll return next week at the same time with more insights and updates. This is Pratiksha Mishra signing off on behalf of our entire team. Until then, stay safe and goodbye.